I try to read what he's thinking about me. And so I'm not gonna, I used to be more flamboyant, verbal in what I say, and try to make those predictions come through and true. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm just gonna be nice and relaxed and just, try to kick a little flavor.
After the Hembrick, baby.
Who? He's a challenge for him because he is a two-time world champion. He brings a lot to the table.
But as far as I'm concerned, he's just another opponent in the ring. He has to go. And I don't like him when I don't know the guy and I don't like him.
I look at it as well. I got good people around me from Detroit, and we're going to come with a Detroit flavor.
I've seen everything, so there's nothing he can do to surprise me.
One thing, that needs to be said is, when the referee say, correct to your corners, get ready to fight. And I'm going to just go out there and do my thing.
So there it is, the stage set then for James Toney against the rather bizarre Anthony Hembrick. And he's always had this routine of coming to the ring dressed in different outfits. In fact, look at him. He's got a huge wig on and a blue mask around his face. And this is a foray for the first time for James Toney, at least officially, into the light heavyweight division. Of course, the IBF super middleweight champion, who thinks that he is destined to become light heavy and cruiserweight and, dare I say, heavyweight champion. Very shy, retiring individual, isn't he, James Toney? And there's no love lost when James Toney fights anybody. And James Toney's absolutely right about himself. It all depends which one turns up. And he's had some lousy nights,
Ladies and gentlemen,
which I'll get to later.
Along with the undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Commissioner, NFL Hall of Famer Chuck Bednarik, Executive Director ringside Greg Serb, physicians in attendance Dr. Frank Romaskavich and Dr. Walter Newman, timekeeper and counting for the knockdown seconds Mr. Billy Reed. The three judges scoring this contest will be Tony Wolf, Bill Flasser, and Bill Nealon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Fernwood Resort and Country Club here in Bushkill, Pennsylvania, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing. This is in the light heavyweight division. When the bell rings, the man in charge of the action will be referee Joe O'Neill. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks, weighing in at 175 pounds. He's from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. This 1988 United States Olympic team member is now 27-4-1 as a professional with 19. Introducing Anthony Dwayne Hembrick.
So Anthony Hembrick, then gold medalist from Seoul in 1988.
His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black with silver trim, weighing 176 pounds. He's from Ann Arbor, Michigan. His professional record, 40 victories without a defeat, 2 draws, 26 KOs. He's captured 2 world titles in his professional career. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undefeated super middleweight champion of the world, James Lights Out Toney.
So there is, and the man full of attitude, managed by Jackie Callan. And of course, this could be for the Michigan State title, couldn't it? With Hembrick being from Detroit and Toney from Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor, I should say. Referee Joe O'Neill. Need a big fella in there.
You fighting on me, referee, right? We understand that. Shake hands. Come on. All right.
So James Toney then. Double IBF champion. Oh, and a big shot there from Hembrick, missed. And Anthony Hembrick's last fight was in September of last year. He challenged Henry Masker in Dusseldorf for the IBF crown, was outpointed over 12 rounds. prior to that, beat Birmingham's John Foreman in 6, once again in Düsseldorf. And Toney looking soft around the waist. Nice left hook from Hembrick. In fact, the worst condition I ever saw Toney turn up in was when he boxed Francesco Della Chia in Monte Carlo. He was 2 or 3 pounds overweight, but the IBF allowed him to defend his championship, which was a liberty. But nonetheless, he stopped Della Chia in 4. First won the title, of course, knocking out Michael Nunn in 11 rounds back in 91, or stopping Michael Nunn. And that, he came from behind to do it. Bit of a shock win there for James Toney. Put him on the map. And then, of course, that federal investigation that was started after Toney's win over Dave Tiberi in defense of his IBF title once again. And most judges felt that Tiberi was a pretty clear winner. But Toney held on to his championship. And I have heard rumours, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, that the IBF have got a policy that in the event of an even-looking round, you must give the benefit of the doubt to the defending champion, which of course makes them very hard to dethrone. I think the WBO have got the same policy. If they haven't, I'd like to know what it is. Of course, Toney really remembered for those 2 wins he had over, my apologies, a draw and a win over Mike McCallum. No real complaints with the draw, but I personally felt that McCallum had done quite enough to win the return.
Well, you better fight it in that brick.
And you can't argue with the form that beat Iran Barkley to take the super middleweight title last year in 9 rounds. Cracking fight too. Only made 1 defence of the super middleweight crown, and that of course was against Tony Thornton last time out. Pretty lacklustre performance, but competently carried out by James Toney on that occasion. Nice left hook from Toney, and Hembrick hasn't got the chin he used to have. Not a great deal in the first, was there? Hembrick a pro since April of 1989. The state champion back in 89. First real title came in for the USBA when he fought Booker T. Ward. He was beaten in the first round in 1990. And I personally think that James Toney's attitude is going to be his undoing. He's got this terribly arrogant streak. The fact is, though, he's backed it up so far in 42 fights, unbeaten. The other draw, in case you're wondering, was with Sanderline Williams, who he later outpointed. A couple of good wins for Hembrick. He beat Leslie Stewart and Israel Cole. Of course, the WBO title was beaten by Leon Zababa for the light heavyweight crown back in 92. And then the NABF championship against Orlin Norris. And he was stopped in 8. But sadly, for Hembrick, he hasn't got the resistance to a punch that he used to have. Wish Nicky Piper all the best in his forthcoming challenge to Leon Zababa. And I've got a feeling that James Toney's a naturally lazy man. He doesn't appear to do more than he needs to, but on occasion he can look blistering. And if he were to step up to the cruiserweight division, fight someone like Anna Wamba of France, he might find himself in a bit of trouble. He has trouble hurting Wamba. Nice left hook from Toney. Pretty vicious puncher. That's a good round for James Toney, although Hembrick put the pressure on. Toney countered well enough to nick the second. And it's ironic, isn't it, that Hembrick is the natural light heavyweight, and yet he's a pound lighter than James Toney in this match. Round 3, scheduled for 10. I think one thing that can be said, no one talks a better fight than James Toney. Nice right hand from Hembrick. There's no doubt about it. James Toney's a tough man. And he's got so much self-belief. Rated #1 by the Independent World Boxing rankings. That's a super middleweight. And Hembrick rated #28 in the light heavyweight division, so that might be a very good pointer to how this one will develop. And it's a shame, really, that Toney is looking to move up a division, because that proposed match with Chris Eubank will disappear. And I think if Toney did fight Chris Eubank, there would be more attitude in one ring than I think I could ever remember in history. Unlikely to happen now, unfortunately. Of course, Michael Nunn's still around. WBA champion. Very lackadaisical approach this by James Toney. Obviously got the confidence that Hembrick can't hurt him. And James Toney's due to defend his title against Tim Littles. And what happened there? Well, he's not too happy about that. Blood on the nose as well, but it's a standing count nonetheless. Stay with us. Well, it was a stiff left hand on the chin, and that, well, if any part of your body, with the exception of the soles of your feet, is on the floor, it's officially counted as a knockdown. But I don't think it's fair to give that round against Anthony Hembrick by the 2-point margin. In fact, James Toney was lucky to win it. See there, Toney throwing less than half the punches, but landing with only 2 less. And James Toney also scheduled to face Prince Charles Williams in July. And if he's not in condition for either Littles or Williams, he's going to find himself in trouble. Hembrick not too keen to keep that punching going. Taking a little breather there, pushing Toney off.
Too much head, right? Too much head.
Such an impassive man, Toney, isn't he? Oh, nice left hook. And once again, it's quality of punch from Toney that's making the difference here. That was a good glancing right hand from Toney. Round 5. Just to refresh you on Hembrick's record, 27 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 19 stoppages. James Toney, of course, unbeaten in 42 fights, 2 of them being draws, stopped 26 men. Toney's so laconic and so laid back. Ooh, nice left hook. Nothing wrong with that. And Hembrick very sensibly getting as much of a break as he can. Once again getting clobbered. Well, he's all but gone over. Hembrick showing a lot of heart there, staying upright. And there's still half of this 5th to go. James Toney breathing hard. Oops, a daisy. And really, Hembrick's punches are not carrying too much authority. And don't forget, he is the natural light heavyweight. And really, if it wasn't for James Toney's attitude, he could probably still be boxing at middleweight. And yet, he's not being at all bothered by these punches from Hembrick, so he might just have a future in the light heavyweight division or the cruiserweight division. In the first minute and a half of this 5th was overwhelmingly in favour of James Toney. Oh, lovely uppercut on the inside. Good round for Toney, no doubt about that.
Take your time, take your shot, and stay alert. Stay alert. Take your time, do the ball. Take your time, take your shot, and get this guy out of here.
Halfway stage, round 6. And once again, Hembrick makes a rapid start. Always trying to surprise Toney. Good jab. He's a spiteful puncher, isn't he, Toney? Now he's trying to egg Hembrick on. Oh, good shot. And now James Toney bad-mouthing Toney Hembrick. Oh, again, how on earth did Hembrick stay on his feet?
Come on, Brick, come on.
Past halfway in the 6th. Oh. Well, Hembrick's as game as they come, although I must admit, maybe Toney's not carried his power into the light heavyweight division. Hembrick's been hit harder, that's for sure. Don't forget, this is the first fight for Hembrick since September of last year, when he faced Henry Masker for the IBF Championship. Oops, so down he goes at last. Well, you did wonder when it was going to happen. The first knockdown wasn't altered. Oops, so Daisy, what's happened here? Well, James Toney walking to neutral corner, and Anthony Hembrick swinging a couple of punches at him. And Hembrick, well, or Toney, I should say, completely unconcerned by all that. Didn't even flinch. Oh, what a round. And Hembrick trying to stagger after James Toney. I'm not sure if Joe O'Neill's just called this one off. And still he almost didn't go down. Well, we're going to get a 7th round. Very bizarre 6th. And Hembrick really staggering quite badly. His legs are totally disobeying him. Well, Toney looking for the payoff now. Oh, crunching right hand again. And Hembrick still very wobbly. Oh. And the towels come in. Well, in Britain, that's generally kicked out and ignored, but in America, they much more readily accept it.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe O'Neill calls a halt to the bout. The official time, 47 seconds into round number 7. The winner by TKO victory, the two-time world champion still undefeated.
I've got a feeling we're going to see a lot more of James Toney. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show.